While minimalism is often celebrated for its promise of reduced stress and a more intentional life, it really isn't without its pitfalls. The minimalist lifestyle offers numerous benefits, and I can personally attest to that. But there are lesser known, or maybe I should say lesser acknowledged, negative aspects that can be quite startling if we just take the time to look. And today we're going to dive into some of these drawbacks that might surprise those accustomed to the typically glowing portrayals of minimalism. Minimalism often necessitates a significant departure from mainstream consumer culture, and that can lead to feelings of isolation or a sense of being out of step with what others consider societal norms. Social activities and family traditions frequently revolve around consumption. Now, whether that's dining out or shopping or giving gifts, opting out of these accepted rituals can create a sense of disconnect from friends and family who do not share our minimalist values. And this disconnect can sometimes even strain relationships, making minimalists feel misunderstood or maybe even judged by the people who love them the most. Times of typical gift giving can be difficult for others that don't adhere to your minimalist life philosophy. And while we often talk about shared experiences over traditional consumerism, when it comes to gifts, there may be family members or friends that still prefer a more traditional approach to Christmas or birthdays or anniversaries. As an example of how this can fail, I once gave a $50 certificate to each of my kids and a nephew. And that $50 was tied directly to a website that would allow them to find someone with a business plan in a third world country and contribute to a loan to that person to make their business come true. And then when the plan was completed and the recipient had paid back the loan from the website, they would get their $50 back to do it again. I had done this for myself, and I thought it was an interesting way to use money to help others. Now, as far as I know, and they will correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but as far as I know, no one did it. They didn't understand it. And they would rather have had the $50 in a gift card to their local mall or a restaurant or Best Buy. The gifts that you give are not for you. They are for the receiver. And it's okay, even as a minimalist, to give physical gifts rather than experiences. And I learned that lesson very quickly. I would caution that it should be something that they actually want, or maybe something that they need, rather than something that you wish you had if you just weren't a dang minimalist. Now, despite being touted as a universally attainable lifestyle, minimalism is often more accessible to those with some level of economic privilege. And this has been pointed out more than once in the comments on my videos, and I'm sure that those comments abound on other channels as well. Now, they typically come from someone who says they could never be a minimalist. And at first I wasn't too keen on these comments. I thought they were just trolls attempting to upset the proverbial apple cart. But then I began to realize there was a lot of truth behind what they were saying. The choice to embrace minimalism typically requires a certain level of financial stability. For example, purchasing high-quality, multi-purpose items can be expensive, and having the freedom to downsize our living arrangements is not feasible for everyone. And this reality can make minimalism seem, maybe elitist at times. And that can alienate those who are financially constrained and who may view the lifestyle as an impractical luxury. Posting a video of all the extra things someone is getting rid of out of their kitchen, like I have, may bring praise and adulation from like-minded minimalists. But others look at that colander or that spatula, or God forbid we should keep talking about that cast iron skillet, and just wish that they had one of those things. And they can be negatively impacted by what they perceive to be a cultural elitism that allows us to simply discard something so valued in their own household. And the pursuit of minimalism can sometimes lead to an unhealthy obsession with perfection. If we can't even keep our minimalist living space clutter-free, we must be a failure. Minimalism is not a one-and-done commodity in life. And constantly evaluating possessions and making decisions about what to keep or what to get rid of can become mentally exhausting. And this perfectionism can also extend to maybe a judgmental attitude toward others who do not follow minimalist principles. And that can create an unnecessary tension, and it can foster sort of a sense of superiority on our part. We may find ourselves in the home of a family member or a close friend and feel our eyes wandering to the clutter around us, only to think to ourselves, thank God I do not live like this. And I blame social media for some of this. We are constantly turning our eyeballs to clean, clutter-free living conditions in the homes of our favorite minimalists. And it sets us up for unattainable expectations in our own lives. And while minimalism is often associated with reducing waste and minimizing environmental impact, it can, paradoxically, contribute to wastefulness. The initial phase of adopting minimalism typically involves a significant purge of our belongings, leading to a large amount of discarded items. And if those items are not managed responsibly, this can contribute to even more landfill waste. But also the trend of buying new, minimalist-approved items to replace old ones can overturn the intended sustainability, as the production and disposal of these items still impact the environment around us. Now, we can counteract some of this, of course, by donating our unused, unneeded items. That's obvious. But underneath, we may just be saying to ourselves, I don't want this clutter in my home any longer, so here, you take it. I don't really care if it actually helps you clutter up your house. Minimalism advocates for a stripping away of the unnecessary. But life is much more complex than it appears in the YouTube videos you're watching. The reductionist approach of minimalism can sometimes oversimplify the intricacies of human experiences and human needs. For instance, as some have commented on my own videos, hobbies that require equipment or materials or sentimental items like my dad's chair or the tools of various trades can be seen as clutter, yet they are an integral part of our personal identity and an integral part of our own joy. Simplifying too much can lead to a loss of these enriching aspects of life, making the minimalist lifestyle feel, restrictive and joyless. And this is why I continually come back to the simple truth that you are not required to get rid of all of those photographs, or that unused chair, or the cane in the corner, or even, as some are commenting still, almost a year later, the pillows you enjoy on your bed. Minimalism must still allow you to enjoy the things that make you, you. Your past, your family, and so much more. So minimalize slowly and carefully. And for people with certain mental health conditions, the stark simplicity and rigid rules of minimalism can just exacerbate feelings of emptiness or inadequacy. The pressure to maintain a meticulously curated space and adhere to minimalist principles can cause significant anxiety and stress. And conditions such as depression and anxiety may not improve with a minimalist lifestyle. In some cases, even the absence of comforting items or engaging distractions can intensify the negative feelings they're already experiencing. Minimalism requires a level of emotional resilience that not everyone possesses. And that potentially makes it a poor fit for those who have mental health struggles. And if you're someone who is struggling with mental health concerns, I urge you to reach out to a professional who can help you talk through those issues that are attacking you. And whether that's a priest, a pastor, rabbi, a counselor, or a medical doctor, please do not isolate yourself. And the rise of minimalism runs the risk of becoming just another trend to follow down the yellow brick road. This commercialized minimalism, often promoted by social media influencers and lifestyle brands, can detract from its genuine principles. And it can turn into a form of virtue signaling or a status symbol rather than a sincere effort to live more meaningfully. This trendiness can create pressure to conform to a particular aesthetic or a particular set of rules, rather than simply encouraging individuals to find their own balance. So be careful of the channels you watch on YouTube. Be as sure as you can that the person you're listening to is truly offering something to help and not just looking for ways to get clicks for their ad revenue. And that includes this channel. I am certainly not above your personal scrutiny. Minimalism's focus on reducing possessions can sometimes lead to the discarding of items with cultural or family significance, heirlooms, traditional artifacts around the home, and other objects that carry historical or sentimental value may be seen as clutter in your effort to begin the process and then become discarded. And this can result in a loss of your own cultural heritage and your personal history. And that would deprive future generations of tangible connections to their past because you got in too big of a hurry. The loss of these meaningful items can be deeply felt, and it diminishes the richness of personal and familial narratives. Now, when I am in doubt about something that I think might be questionable about whether I should get rid of it or not, I contact all three of my daughters, and I ask if a particular item is something they want me to hang on to for them to have later. And that meant that an unused croquet set that belonged to my brother did not go to Goodwill. It went to 3 grandkids to use in their own yard. So always ask. Always. And while minimalism offers many benefits, it's important to acknowledge and work through these lesser-known drawbacks. Understanding the full spectrum of its impact, both positive and negative, can help us make more informed decisions about how to incorporate minimalist principles into our lives without falling into its potential pitfalls. And by recognizing these challenges, we can strive for a balanced approach that respects the complexity of human life and the society in which we live. Embracing minimalism should be a personal journey and not a rigid set of rules imposed by some type of trend or external pressures. It's crucial to find a balance that suits your needs and your circumstances, ensuring that the pursuit of simplicity enhances rather than diminishes the richness of our lives. Minimalism at its core is about intentional living. And that intention should always prioritize genuine well-being and fulfillment over adherence to a particular aesthetic or a lifestyle ideal that YouTube proposes to us. And at its best, minimalism can offer you the opportunity to get off the never-ending treadmill of overworking just to make more money, just to buy more stuff, just to overwork to make even more money, just to replace it all with newer stuff before its usefulness is even gone. And at its worst, minimalism can strip you of everything in life that makes you, you. And as with anything, from diet to exercise to religion and politics, there is a middle ground to minimalism that can keep you from falling off the edges into the darkness. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.